On you go.
When you were born, you come in the middle of everyone else's movie. Here's an intersection of two writers from different parts of the world in the time of the pandemic, seeing through the telescope of humanity over time, touching love, loss, and an aspiration for understanding some small part of the mystery of life.
She always wore a single white rose on her satin lapel and looked quite stunning. His black suit was spotless and he appeared very dashing. Together they made an engaging couple and heads turned whenever they walked arm in arm down the street. But who could begin to guess their shared deep secret from their dark and dangerous past, when former partners of each other lay in bloody postures buried 6 feet below the ground. Sitting in a shadowed cafe, Dane looked out and saw the passing couple. Nothing looked back from this, he said to no one in particular. Finishing his JD and scraping his seat on the wall-worn floor, he got up and went out into the street.
The unfinished idol was giving Finn fits, so at his dark desk, sitting idly, spinning old coins from a corner of the drawer, wondering if an idea from ghost notebooks from other lifetimes ago would winking back smile as to what they were on about, dancing in felt hats. The room is filled only with the whisper, wobble, unwinding, falling of the 2P and fingers tapping.
Somewhere, somehow, the pretend debonair couple had a past that must be uncovered. No fancy clothes would be able to hide their dirty laundry once deeper searches were begun. No murdered memories, whether real or supposed, would be left unturned. Sacred cows would be sacrificed at the altar of improbability in the search of the past. I saw you laughing in the dark, your senses dulled by the mist of glamour hiding the truth.
Do you put sugar in the cornbread? Of course you don't. Her freckles blinking transparent as she giggled, laughing fully, reeling him in with the stories of life on the river, the Mississippi. Her story rolled on. You'll see, that was the raging debate. It did not end there. The fight went on about catfish. Let me tell you everything, get everything you need together, assembled and ready. The fish has to be dead. Make yourself certain of that. Behind the gills, begin the cutting just around the fish, all the way around, just through the skin, carefully cutting. You have to have a handy tree branch ready. By the gills, hang the fish. If you're in a kitchen, just use what is handy. Use pliers or something. From the head to the tail, pull off the skin. Start the fillet near the tip of the tail, lard in the black cast iron skillet, melting, fry them up, golden delight. They walked every night just around midnight.
Footsteps, erratic, never repeating. Why are we concerned as to what's particular here? Bodies buried, not deep, but deep enough to hide. Whatever way the fish wriggles, we will dig the truth, that's clear. Words from distant corners pieced together over some molten barley, as you talk about the quid pro quo. I point out, I don't speak Spanish, but that doesn't put you off. The past will be uncovered, uncorked like a perplexed bottle of, well, whatever is your poison. Everyone's had neighbours at some point. Even though the bombs were falling, somebody must have been there.
The nosy neighbor lived over Ma Cameron's for years and years, knitting since the war, crochet and tatting, claims to have never seen or heard a thing. Oh gosh, there's lots of folk all dressed and big red heads around this part of town. Nobody shows anybody would notice or know anything perplexing, much less erratic. Now I have heard stories. Some say spirits and ghosts, and some say gangster and his gal. My advice, even though you're not asking for it, is that you not uncork any old bottles of poison if you know how best to be. Take up a hobby, learn a language for fun. Latin or Spanish will keep you busy. We're not looking for any more bombs of falling. We had enough of that during the war.
Old notebooks, different covers, gave the first hint of the lovers. The quietly hidden notes up to 1943 from Mississippi. Calorie, George. Color, 2. County, 41. Month, 5. Twice entered. 2 different death certificates, bottom of the page. In other words, other pages, other stories, other strategies, other bodies. We aren't bulletproof. We need more proof. The secrets of our youth, the Highland and the riverboats, the old Kirk graveyard, the gravitas or stoic suffering of past years, the hints and deliberations, the catabasis unsolved, escaping from the rumors, separate freedoms unresolved. A maze is a labyrinth where there is no wrong direction. The dust from the past has tales of circumspection.
They swear on a stack of Bibles, I'm told, about bold, dashing George Calloway and Mary Cotton, who is from where and who said what, when is a muddle, is confusion, clear as foggy bog and crystal goblet. Writing we weave this stumble love tragic, all magic, all fiction, all made up for pomade promenade, except a pulse of fingertips on keyboards that conjures life's holy parade. George went on and on about his love of fish and chips in the high street of Saffron Hill. Mary loved him so much so that his stories became hers. These she loved and retold as her own around Old Kirk graveyard, sometime around midnight, nearly this time of year. Mary and George went strolling arm in arm, smiling, smiling.
Oceans apart, countries apart, but matters of the heart, that's another thing entirely. The gangs without pangs of guilt who killed, blood spilled, and she, disappearing, husband number 3, wanted to spend her life with he. Cruelty, run across the sea, after he ran from his wife, ex-life. Bullet in the head, 48,000 square miles and not enough to hide. Come on over to the other side, finding Mary again after the war.
With misery and a string, Mary Cotton is fed up, tied up, strung up by the neck with the string. Who was to figure, to decipher? This is the way the story would be told. Black, dark nursery rhyme, the dancing, the singing. How are you singing it now? Lying and rotten, down to the bone, never to be forgotten. Mary is dead, eyes wide open, frozen in bed, for doubling over men who were giants next to her 4'11" reign of terror. Arsenic for Frederick, Charles and James got a taste of it too. Some holiday ham season for George's delight. The savory, sweet, the arsenic powder, the dinner, the ending and hanging, the string of the nursery rhyme. The murderers murder their spouses. We have holiday cheer with sweet treats, dusted with arsenic sweet. The dead, rotten deeds ending in poisoned desserts. This could be made up. This could be real. Now it's just ghost haunting Old Kirk graveyard sometime around midnight, nearly this time of year.
Dapper behind him, swave in the past, the last waltz has been danced. No more strolls, no more rise in the couple, a dyad no more. After the rope, after his escape to no escape, the boat to oblivion, no more. No more white roses, no more satin blouses, no more black suits. The couple lying separately, like their former partners, 6 feet beneath the ground. To be continued.
Thanks everybody for coming.
Thank you.
Dude, thank you for doing that. It's beautiful. Stunning.
You like it, yeah?
Yeah, I really loved it. So what a journey. Wow.
Let's get a chapbook.
Well,
Fringe Festival.
we're already, we're doing it again at Gestalt on Saturday.